up here with Dr. Ask.
Good morning.
Good morning, my dear. And let me ask you a question. Pardon the pun. We're going to talk about X-rays and radiation.
We are. You want to see what's in here?
Yes.
So you actually guessed it correctly.
It's an X-ray machine.
X-ray head.
X-ray head. Okay.
Okay. There it is.
Wow. Now let me ask you a question. We hear these horror stories all the time. Are X-rays harmful, and how often should you get them?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay,
in just
good.
a minute. Are you nervous about X-rays?
No.
Does that make you nervous when we point this at you?
No, not at all.
Really? Okay, good girl. Okay, you're smart. Okay, a lot of people are, and there's the reason that the studies through when the first time that an atomic bomb was set off was in August 1945, right? Mm-hmm. And they've been studying. This has been a huge study for 50, 60 years now, mm-hmm. and it's studied. Every single one of those people have been followed in Japan, and they realize that there's a lot less cancer rates than they were anticipating.
Really?
Yeah, and so so we're going to talk about levels and risks. But so first of all, let's talk about why X-rays are needed. Okay, so when you look at this, okay, when you look at that, not counting this, does that look like that's a problem right there?
No.
It looks okay. Let's turn around and let's look at. Can the camera see this?
Yeah, you can see you can have cracks.
You can and decay. This is a cavity. You can have abscesses.
Right.
Okay. You can have gum disease, mm-hmm. and all these things we find in an X-ray. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, when it gets really bad, okay, we can start seeing it through exam. Yeah. Okay. But we want to catch things when they're small, when they're treatable without the biggest expense. And that's what dental X-rays can do. So how often? Most of the time we recommend once a year. Okay. Now everybody's a little different. If you haven't had any cavities between your teeth for 5 years, we shouldn't be taking X-rays between your teeth. But if you've had a lot of fillings, a lot of crowns, once a year is recommended. Okay. Now my son. We took an X-ray and we saw a little damage to the enamel in between the teeth, okay, right here. And so he said, "Oh, we're just going to watch it. He's going to floss it really good." And then a year later, we took another X-ray, and darn it, if there wasn't a huge cavity that was halfway to the nerve.
Wow.
He and I
so you have to do a root canal, right?
If it gets in the nerve, absolutely.
Okay.
So we were both really upset. And that was just 1 year later. So things can get out of control.
Sure.
Cavity can turn into a big cavity within 1 year. My own mother, I missed a little cavity, and it turned into a root canal. It got in the nerve. My own mother, my only 87-year-old mother, I had to do a root canal.
I take it you're out of the will?
I was so upset, I could hardly stand it.
That's terrible. But this radiation is not heavy duty.
We're going to talk about dose now. Okay, so right now we're getting radiation. We're getting radiation from the ceiling, okay, from the floor, from the ground.
Bricks.
Yeah, Adobe.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Okay, and we're going to talk about microsieverts. It's just a unit. It's translated, and basically we get 8 to 10 microsieverts a day.
Wow.
Okay, so here's the chart. Okay. Oh, by the way, we'll talk about that in just a minute. So here's the chart, and we get 8 to 10. Let's just say 10. Round off of these microsieverts. Okay, which is like rads or REMs or those kinds of things. It's all translated over. Okay, so just remember we get 10 microsieverts a day just from living. Okay, and so if we take one X-ray, it's about 5. It's about half of 1 day's worth of radiation.
So there's really nothing.
Nothing. Okay, if you live an extra day, you've already had 2 dental X-rays.
Yes.
Okay. No big deal. Nothing. Okay, so if you get a Pantograph X-ray, that's a digital Pantograph X-ray.
Got about a week and a half rolling there.
1 day.
1 day.
1 day.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Just the same amount, about 10 microsieverts. Okay.
I'll be darned.
So if you get now, what I want to talk about. And that's usually our full mouth. We take 4 X-rays plus a Pantograph, so it's about 3 days worth. Okay, 3-4 days.
Right.
Okay, now
unless you start glowing in the dark, then you got to.
Okay, so now we just these are the doctors, and we just got a new fancy machine this year.
Wow,
that's
a
huge cone beam. It's called a cone beam CT scan or computerized tomography, and that goes around your head, and it actually gets a 3-dimensional picture. Okay, like this. Okay,
wow.
And that's only 50 microsieverts, which is only 6 days worth. Okay.
So when you do this, you can tell if there's gray matter in there.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
If it's working.
Okay, so basically, dental X-rays is nothing. Now we're gonna end this section by saying they did studies, and the scientific conclusion was that any radiation is a cumulative and it's bad. And they're finding out that it's absolutely not true. Actually, a little bit of radiation is good for you. That they radiated light radiation to cells, and those cells have actually lived longer than non-radiated cells because the DNA gets used to this, and so anyway. So the take home here is that a little bit of radiation actually could be good for you, and that it's not accumulative, like we used to think.
That's great. So make an appointment with Dr. Ask or his staff and get in there and give him your number.
Okay.
What is your number?
Oh, it's 223-2712.
There you go. Hey, we're going to take a little short break. No, I'm going over there. Okie dokie. I'm going to leave you again. I keep leaving you. I'm so sorry. I'm going to run over there, and I'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Sounds great.
I'll be right back.